Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. Before we get into it, I'd like to again thank Chad for letting us check out this watch before he even gets to check it out. I kind of caught it in between the place he bought it from and his location, so thanks again for letting us take a look at this cool watch. I've known about these for a long time, never actually had one in hand, so it's a great opportunity to check it out. This is 38 millimeter, which actually works well for my 6.5 inch wrist, as you could probably expect. I come to appreciate smaller watches more so now. If it's not a dive style watch, I actually kind of prefer a smaller size watch like this. You may have seen in the background here, I had this watch off to the side. This is a 40 millimeter, actually I think this is 42 millimeter Oris, but with the white dial and just being all dial, it looks really quite large on my wrist. I bought this probably 8 years ago or so, and then this is 38. The bezel is a little thicker. Yeah, I think the bezel is a little bit thicker on this too, but just a little bit of a contrast here side by side. The white silver dial versus black dial. So the model number for this, the exact model number for this is H70455533. When I did my research earlier today, I looked up this number on the back of the case, but that's not actually the model number. So right down here, H704450. I'm not sure what that is. So, but since we're at the back of the watch, this has the H10 movement, which is good for 80 hours of power reserve. That's quite amazing, considering this one here has 38. I think it has 38. Your basic ETA 2824, I think, has 38 hours of power reserve. So getting 80 out of this is a neat trick. They've done that by going from 8 beats per second down to 6 beats per second. Not sure if you can see on that seconds hand or not. The sweep is not quite as smooth. Yeah, you can actually see that it's a little more ticking away. Ticky. I'm not sure that's a real word, but whatever. We'll go with it. Let's get this off to the side. So again, it's 38 millimeter case. Diameter. Lug to lug on this is 47. This is nice and thin at 10.5. And the lug width is 20, which I think works well for this. 22 looks better for a little larger watch. I like the thinness on this as well. I appreciate a thinner watch more so than a Seiko SKX. So here's another comparison of, this is a 42 millimeter watch, but the dials are very similar in size, even though this is a smaller watch. So let's look at the thickness of these. I don't want to get these too close. I don't want to put any defects in Chad's nice watch here. So this is 13.5 versus 10.5. The crown on this I measured at 6.5, which I think is fine. It just looks like it's kind of big for the watch, or sticks out far. I think it just sticks out far. It looks kind of a little awkward on it, but not a big deal. It is a signed crown. See the Hamilton logo there? The buckle is signed as well with Hamilton. This brushed to match the brushed case. The bezel is polished, however. But this is a nice watch. I've come to like it. I've handled it here, but I'm not really wearing it. Been wearing the Mito Commander, similar size to this, so I figured I would throw it on. Yeah, I like that Mito quite a bit. My first vintage watch. Not exactly sure how old it is, but it's probably close to my age. So let's get this one on wrist. Just your basic three-hander with date. No complications other than the date complication. I'm having complication putting this on, but other than that. So there's still 1, 2 more positions up there, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could probably go from 6 up to 7.5, maybe even 8. The strap does seem a little short actually. It's fine for my wrist, but not for a larger wrist. So again, I have a 6.5-inch wrist with a 52mm wrist band. So the 47 lug-to-lug looks just fine on my wrist. Let me zoom out here. Yep, sorry, got a little mess in the background here. So I think it looks great on my smaller wrist. If you could, please like the video. Leave a comment. We can have some discussion back and forth on if you like this style of watch or if you'd go with a slightly larger one. I think this is also offered in 40 and 42. I don't exactly remember all the sizes, but I know this is the smaller one. As I mentioned in my previous video, I had the basic mechanical version of this, which was even thinner yet. I think that was 9.5, which makes sense because you don't have the rotor you have to worry about. So I'll just show these side by side again, and then we can close it out with a loom shot. Not exactly the similar watches or anything, it's just the watch I had close in size. Actually, I have this Seagull 1963 chronograph, which is also 38. I think the lug-to-lug is longer on this. That's the other thing with the mechanical one I had. The lugs were even farther out. That one was made more for NATO straps or a single piece strap. So if you were to put leather band or any two-piece band on that watch, the gap between the bracelet strap and the case was quite large. Be similar to what would happen on this one here. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So with a NATO, you don't really notice how far out that spring bar is. As soon as you take this off, you can kind of imagine putting leather on here. There's quite a bit of a gap between the top of the bracelet and the case. So you can see how much farther the lugs stick out. Actually, it's not that much. It's probably actually the same. So I'm not sure exactly how they pulled that off. So anyway, let me pause the video and we'll close that with a loom shot. So it's not a realistic comparison by any means. We have a field watch against a dive watch. So, well, also it's a Seiko versus Hamilton. So you can see the loom is much better on the Seiko, especially by eye here. But let me take this off to the side. So on the Hamilton, the Arabics are loomed. By eye, it's not that bright. The hands are pretty decent, but you know, it's a field watch, it's not a dive watch, so the loom isn't going to be spectacular on it. I think it's good enough. So there you go. Hamilton Khaki field automatic 38 millimeter. Talk to you guys on the next one.